Okay, I'm making chicken and dumplings today. It's Thanksgiving Day.
Got two chickens.
I've got 2 roasting hens in here. I got water, and I'm fixing to season it with this. How do you say that, Emily?
Caldo de pollo.
Yeah, whatever she said.
Spanish.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tablespoon, a heaping tablespoon.
A really big.
About like that much in both pots. And then I'm going to put some butter in here. And the reason I do that is when I originally started making this recipe is I got the roasting hens from Butterball. And they don't sell the roasting hens here anymore. But the butter that was in the Butterball turkeys or chickens really made the difference in the chicken and dumplings. So I'm going to do that. And this is going to make your dumplings really soft and really fluffy. It's going to just give your chicken the best flavor. And then I'm going to add just a bit of salt and pepper. Not a lot of salt because the Nor that I put in here has a lot of salt in it already.
Using McCormick or horse?
It doesn't matter. Whatever.
Salt.
We're just using what we have here at my mom's.
Yep. Thanksgiving.
It's going to be amazing.
Water.
And these chicken and dumplings are my most, that's about how much salt.
Just in the corner of your hand.
These are my most requested recipe of life. People offer to buy them every year.
Although she never listens.
No, I usually just
do it for family.
Yeah. You know, when you do something that you love, it's fun. When you do something that you love for money, it becomes work. And for me, and I'm going to put about the same amount of pepper in here, and then later on we'll come and test it for flavor and stuff, but these are going to cook until they just fall off the bone. Okay, well, we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, as you can see, I have not a lot of juice in here, so what I'm going to do, the broth is very concentrated right now because of the Nor and then the cooking the chicken in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add water to both of these pans.
How much water?
This is 4 cups. I'm just going to fill it up to...
about halfway.
No, it's going to go a little bit more than halfway. Right up to this line right here in the stock pot. And I do that because we like a lot of dumplings in ours. And these are roasting hens, so there's going to be a lot of chicken as well. So, yeah, we didn't bring the right stock pots with us. We've got the wrong ones on accident, but that's okay. We just make do.
Fault.
We just make do with what we have.
Sometimes I mess up.
And I'll check it to taste it and see if it needs more salt or pepper or more of this chicken bouillon. It shouldn't need any more though because the flavor is very concentrated, which I like it like that because of it gives the chicken a whole lot more flavor. So your stock should be good at this point. And if y'all want to add vegetables and stuff like that, you can. This is an old
family recipe
that was my ex's grandmother's, and then I modified it a bit.
Yeah, because we're beast and we don't like that.
And they just never put vegetables in there to season their stock or anything like that. But you can do what you want to do. This is just how I do it. But
that's the I'm going for the pies.
That Grandpa messed up, so we need to fix that. We're gonna have to redo that. So anyway, I'm gonna let these come back to a simmer and just let them, you know, cook for a little while. And then I'm gonna get started on my dumplings. So we'll be back when I get that set up. Thanks. Okay guys, we're back to do the dumplings. I've got this big silver mixing bowl. That's where we're going to be putting all of our ingredients in. This right here is 3 cups of self-rising flour. I'm sure that's going to be too much, but this is what I use to roll the dumplings out and to kind of add, because your dumpling mixture is going to be real loose and kind of sticky. So you have to knead in some self-rising flour to do that. So in this bowl I have 4 cups of all-purpose flour, And this is going to be my rolling flour, and y'all see how I do that in a few minutes. In this bowl I have 2.5 sticks of butter, and I know that sounds like a lot, but the recipe calls for shortening, and I don't like to use shortening in my dumpling recipes, so I use butter. And then in this back one, yeah, thank you, John, that's 1 cup of milk and 1 cup of the chicken stock out of the juice from cooking the chickens. And so we're going to start adding all this into the bowl. John, go ahead and put the flour in. This is John. This is my son. He's helping me today because I've injured my shoulder and I can't lift my arm and do a whole lot. Okay, so what you're going to do is just start putting, oh, you need this 1 teaspoon of salt right here, son, that I've already made. Thank you.
Just dump it in?
Yeah, just dump it in. And then you're going to pour your milk and chicken stock juice in. And then pour your butter in. Okay, now get me that wooden spoon over there. I'm at my mother's cooking, spending time with my dad for Thanksgiving. And so I'm not used to this kitchen yet. So we're going to stir this up, and I'll come back and show you how that looks when it's all combined. Okay, we're back. So see, this is the dumpling dough, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little bit of it, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. You need to hold this in. Okay, I'll set that aside, son. Okay, my hands are clean. I'm just washing. I'm going to take a handful of or 2 of my rolling flour. And I do this, and then
Here, let me get it.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for me to get them out. Just
throw it on.
Yeah, just throw it on. Here, let me have the spoon for a second. There we go. Now take about 1/3 to half of the dough and place it like this. Because I like to work in smaller batches, especially with my arm hurting so badly right now. Okay. And so you're going to kick back some of that because we don't. And then you just start folding it in like this. And you're going to fold it in until it's just not sticky anymore. And it forms a dough ball.
We should make Pillsbury dough boy.
And this takes a little while, so I'm going to knead this up and then I'll be back. Okay, I've got most of the flour incorporated, and you can see it's still a little bit sticky, but it's pliable. That's the way you want it, and you want it to kind of spring back at you a little bit, and then you're going to be ready to roll it out. Now you can do one of 2 things. You can try to roll it out now, which is usually what I do. I usually fight with it, or you can just let it sit for a few minutes and let that gluten kind of relax a little bit, and then roll them out, and they'll be easier to roll out that way. So I'm going to let it sit for a minute, and then I'll be back. Okay, I have Emily rolling them out.
Hi guys.
And you're going to roll these to about 1/8 of an inch thickness. That's my dad here in the backyard and background, being loud. And anyway, so she's going to roll these out until they're about 1/8 of an inch thick, and then we're going to cut them. I use a pizza cutter, so today they're going to use a pizza cutter. And that just helps cut them. I like that better. So.
It's a continuous cut. You
Yeah.
don't have to stop.
Okay, babe, I think that's good. Okay, so she's going to cut them into 1-inch squares. So what I do is I don't just throw the dumplings in. I put them on a floured baking pan, and then when I get one full batch of dumplings done, then I go ahead and put them in the pot and I boil them until they float. I usually end up cooking them for at least 30 minutes to an hour before we eat them. That way the dough has time to get really tender and just so yummy. So what I've made here, the batch that I made here is for one pot of dumplings. So I'm going to have to make another whole batch of dough for the other pot that I'm cooking. So we're going to get that done and let her finish cutting this up, and then I'll come back when we're putting the dumplings in. Okay. Be right back. As you can see, none of these are sticking together because I've used plenty of flour. You don't want to just clump them all in there together because then you might have a kind of a mess. And then I'll stir occasionally. Let's do that in a minute. We've got some great helpers here today.
Here.
And my daughter Emily's working the camera right now.
I'll probably look like a dork.
Probably. Kind of are a dork, but you're my dork and I love you.
Do you want me to help you now?
Okay, so I'm going to just keep doing this and I'll come back when they're boiling up and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, these have been cooking for about 45 minutes. I just want to show you, once they're all done, when you first put them in, after they cook for a few minutes, they float to the top. And then once they're all done, they start sinking back to the bottom. As you can see, there's lots in there. And then the juice, the broth gets very thick and just yummy. It's so good. And at this point, what I do is I add the chicken, which I've deboned already and skinned and all that. So I'm going to get that back in there, and then I'll let them cook for about another 30 minutes, and they'll be done, ready to eat. Oops. Forget my camera, y'all. So yeah, Grandma's chicken and dumplings. That's pretty much it. I'll come back and give y'all a picture of them when I'm done putting the chicken in. Be right back.
Okay, so these are the chicken and dumplings. We just put the chicken in about 15 minutes ago. Yeah. It's going to look like that with the dumplings and the chicken. The chicken's going to separate a lot after you mash it. But that's okay because that's how we like it down in the south. This one. And see the chicken and dumplings, there's lots of chicken and dumplings. So, I mean, oh yeah. It's going to be good. Alright, we're going to start working on the pies and we'll get back to you.
Oh, and I forgot to add that because I didn't have my regular pots here with me, the one batch of dumplings I made was plenty for these two pots. If y'all saw the other pots that I normally use, they're huge. So that's why I only did the one batch. So yeah, anyway, it was kind of trial and error with this go around with not having the right pots. I'm just used to making them in those. But anyway, hope y'all enjoy. Have a blessed Thanksgiving and take care. Bye-bye.